record and get to my really ugly graphics. Okay, wait, can you guys see this? Did I get there yet? Hold on, I don't think I shared my screen. Did I share? Can you guys see? No, okay. Here we go. Okay. Where are we? Let me find this. Sorry, you guys, my brain is like mush right now. Okay. Welcome to our Team Fitspire call. It is, holy shit, it's September 3rd. A lot of exciting things going on this month. I'm really, really excited to kind of dive back in. I know summer is kind of winding down and it's been a crazy summer, but we have so many exciting things coming for fall and to kind of finish off the year. So I'm going to go over some quick coach announcements for September. September promo code. So you should have gotten an email today with those. If you use the ones that you had last month, you would have gotten the same amount that you used from last month. So make sure to find those in your emails, or they could be in your trash if you didn't get them. Pumpkin Spice Shakeology is on sale today. I left a big kind of message in the team page live, so go watch that. But you guys, product launches are bigger than program launches even. Like, we need to blow this up because, like I said earlier, your income will grow if you are sharing and selling more products. And if you haven't had Pumpkin Spice Shakeology, it's probably my favorite product, my favorite flavor too. So definitely start talking about it. If you haven't already, continue talking about it. Like, it's not just something that you should be talking about today. This is like, it can keep going. You know, it's not until it sells out, which I don't know when that will be. You should be talking about it, sending emails to your old clients, sending emails to discount coaches or anyone that's inactive. Like, anyone that you've talked to before or that has had Shakeology before are definitely really good people to reach out to and send follow-ups to. The work is coming out. It launches September 30th, and this might be my dream program. We're going to go over like all of the details next week once we kind of dive more into just a little bit more of about the program and marketing plan and all that. So just stay tuned for that. And then the 3-day refresh, I'm doing mine tomorrow, starting that, but just always know that that's in your back pocket, and it's such an amazing resource for us, especially right now when coming out of summer after a holiday weekend. Like, this is the time to do it for yourself and also like get customers to do it as well. And then I just kind of posted up here, like, back to school, summer's over. Like, this is a huge time in your business, or it could and should be at least. Like, this is when people are starting to think about getting back on track and the craziness of summer stops a little bit. So definitely they're going to be reaching out to you if you are consistent and if you are showing up every day and you are, you know, connecting with people. Like, that's, you want to be the first person someone thinks about. And if you are reaching out to them, you want them to trust you enough because you've been continuing to show up every day. Diamond Retreat. We are done with qualifications starting on, is that tomorrow? Thursday. So you have to hit Diamond by Thursday in order to qualify for the retreat that we are taking all the girls to Austin. All of the Diamonds who have earned it are getting a free paid for trip to Austin, and we rented this sick house. Mandie, I'll have to share where it is. I don't exactly know, but you can tell me in relation to where you guys are building your house. But we got this awesome house, and we're going to take, I think, about 15 girls. So if you're close to Diamond, you still have 2 days, 1 day, I guess. But there's no, like, you can, like I've said before, you can get to Diamond in 5 days, you can get to Diamond in 10 days, or you can also take a year to get there, or 2 years. It really just comes down to how hard you're going to work, how many people you're going to connect with and talk to every day, and if you want it bad enough. And if you are not at Diamond and you don't make it for Thursday, we're going to be taking the next closest people. So we are taking 15 people, and we've talked to people that are close to hitting it, and kind of talked about that. But we are doing these retreats every single year. We have tons of trips coming up. And so these are just like the incentives that hopefully are going to help you move your business forward, not only for all of us, but for you. Quickly wanted to go over our leaderboard. This is to finish off August. We had a really great August. Myself, Mallory, Julie, Lindsay Thomas is one of my new coaches. First month, she had SE 18. And Danielle Rosner, Bree Vincent, Lauren Schwarzenfeld, Alexa, Sarah, I can't pronounce her last name, all hit SE 10 and above. So that's awesome. All of these ladies hit SE 5, which is amazing. But what I want to kind of look at is this area. There's just so many people that we have helped, but we absolutely you can earn Success Club 5. If you can help one person, you can help 3 people. If you can help 2 people, you can help 3 people. These numbers should be growing, and this is something that you should be hitting at the beginning of the month, because I know that at the end of the month, everyone starts scrambling. It's like you hit SE4 and then all you're doing is just like getting desperate, and it kind of can feel like that, I think. And that's why it's so important to start the month going for Success Club and trying to hit this. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're not hitting Success Club, you're just not moving your business forward. Like, you're not helping people. You have to be helping at least 3 people every single month in order to be making your investment back. We don't want you guys to be pouring into this business without making money back and helping people, which is essentially what we're all here to do. So, really kind of just reflect on, okay, what happened last month? What can I do different this month? And if you need some extra support in what you're doing, you think you're putting in all the work, all the effort, and you're not seeing any return, let's talk. Maybe it's your social media, which Mandie's going to dive into today. Maybe it's invites. Maybe it's just you're not doing the work. I think it's just important to kind of go back and think about where's the gap that we can kind of fill in. Okay. And coach of the week, really quickly, Lauren, I wanted to shout her out. She is in month 1 of Success Club for her Success Starter. She just signed up last month. She was so freaking nervous. I swear this girl was had all the hesitations and everything. And she finally just put it out there. And she's also been a Beachbody member for 5 years. And she signed up as a coach with someone else a long time ago, was just a discount coach. And so excited that she's on our team now, and she finally decided to dive in and kind of got rid of all of her fears and all that, and she's just crushing it. So I wanted to shout her out because it's pretty awesome. Success Club 12 in your first month is unbelievable. Okay, and now for the queen, we have Mandie Kaii talking to us tonight. She is, so funny, crazy story, you guys. Mandie and I met when I was a coach of 2 months, and she was a baby. I mean, I think you were coaching for a couple months, 6 months or something. And we met on the beach in our Success Club trip, and I was with my cousin and she was with her girlfriend Danae, and we were just sitting next to each other. Neither of us really knew anyone in the Beachbody world, barely. And we just connected. I was like, hey, can you take some pictures of me and with me? And we just connected and had the best time. And we had, both of us had not even really started our business very much. And it's just so cool to kind of be alongside her now and watch her crush it. She just hit 15-star with her team, which is, if you guys don't know, it's the highest rank that you can achieve in the network. And only, I think, 70 or 69 teams in the world of Beachbody have hit it. So pretty awesome. She's been in the business for 3 years. SE10 legend. She was premier last year or 2 years ago, elite this year, and then she's already qualified for elite with her team in 2020, and she is currently number 8 in the company. I have a feeling she's going to be going to Bora Bora next year for the top 10 trip, which we're working towards. But without further introduction, I want her to just kind of take over. I will stop sharing, and you guys feel free to blow up the chat, ask questions as she's talking. She will leave, hopefully a little bit of time after to answer. So if you guys have questions, write them in chat, and go ahead, girl.
What is up, you guys? First of all, super excited to be on this call. I love when I'm on calls where I actually adore the upline. It's so awkward for me to talk to teams where I'm this girl is just not my vibe, just because I know that if I'm Jamie's vibe and you guys are Jamie's coaches, and underneath Jamie's other coaches of Jamie's, we're all each other's vibe. So welcome to the vibe. Anyways, you guys, I'm really excited, most of all because you guys are all so new, first of all. And if you guys feel oh, I've been doing this forever, first of all, I'm going to tell you that I'm a hard ass. So I'm not going to butter things up. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, because I truly believe that every single one of the people that are on this call and listening to the recording, that you can be successful. You don't need to be any version of whatever version of the person that you think that you need to be successful at this. Like, there's so many different types of coaches, and it's so funny because I just posted on social media is that, like, the beauty in you being you is literally the biggest power and selling point that you have, period. Like, that alone makes you that special. Like, there's no other freaking one of you out there. There's no other coach like you that has the same story as you. And so before I even kind of go into my story and all of the things that like have made me successful and how I utilize social media to recruit rock stars and all that, I want to just backtrack and give you guys kind of an insight of like who I was prior to Beachbody and what the heck took me to this kind of land of Beachbody. Because honestly, I really thought that I was going to be in the corporate world and retire at 65 and love my life throughout the entire process. And so backtrack, I was a college athlete, which was great. But then after, they don't tell you, hey, you have to go into the real world and you're not going to be a part of a team and no one's going to tell you how to work out. So I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? I was like a lost freaking puppy after I graduated college, and they were like, yeah, go work in the corporate world. So I'm like doing what society's told me to do, right? I nail a job that's like a senior position. My parents were so proud, and I was just like, I'm doing it, you know, I'm doing this adulting thing. I'm doing it loud and proud, and everyone's like, Mandie made it. And not only my friends, but like my family were like so proud of me. And, you know, that's a good feeling in your heart. And it's like this like really, really, mediocre sense of fulfillment, because then you have to actually go to the job. Then you actually have to do the work. Right. And so I remember going to this job like every single day, just being like, if this is what life looks like making it, I don't want to make it. Like, I don't want to make it. And so every time I was going to my job, I felt like there was something missing in my life. I felt like that there was something more. And most of all, I felt like I needed to be around better humans, because I was working in the corporate world where people literally would feed me donuts and like take them into my office, set them down, and like want me to eat them as I have like lean chicken and broccoli in front of my face. Like, they would, you know, just do weird crap. And like, if I ever brought Shakeology or anything to my corporate job after I signed up, they would always like be like, oh, is that your superfood shake? You know, like, and make fun of me. And I'm like, as you're gaining 45 pounds, get off me, you know? And like, you know, and I was just so bitter about this, like this kind of environment that I was around. Like, you guys are living such a mediocre life. Like, you come here, complain about your job, complain about your health and fitness, complain about your marriage, complain about all these things. And then you're literally saying, you know what, Mandie, you're doing it the wrong way. I was like, what is this? You know? And so I remember the first day I signed up was like, it was all fate, to be honest. And I have no idea. With whatever you believe in, like, I believe God pulled me in this direction. I think the universe is speaking to me. But whatever you believe in, I think that you sign up for a certain reason. No matter what timing it is in your life, no matter what happened in that day, no matter what has gone through your life prior to this experience, but you sign up with the vision that you are going to be fulfilled, that you are going to find something that is going to fulfill your little brains out, and you're just going to be like, yes, this is it. And then you get into and you're like, holy shit, I have to work, and holy shit, like, there's a lot of hard things, you know? And so all of these kind of factors come into that. And with my story, when I got signed up, I was like, literally like, Angie Belmar is my upline. And when she was telling me about this opportunity, I was literally like, here's my credit card. Like, I don't care what you actually have to do, but here's my credit card. I don't care what you tell me that I need to do. If I have to do cartwheels and videotape them and post them on Facebook, I will do it. I just need to be as happy as you know? And so I was like, here's my credit card, signed up. I hated Beachbody programs, you guys. Oh, I hated Beachbody's programs. But the thing is, the first program that I did was 21 Day Fix, and I did it mediocrely. I lost weight just because I was actually working out. But I think somebody's unmuted. But most of all, like, I was just going through kind of emotions of being a coach for the first, honestly, and I feel so awkward telling you this, for the first 8 months, I really faked it till I made it. I didn't commit wholeheartedly to any programs. I didn't do anything really with a lot of conviction. I just kind of showed up because somebody told me to show up. And so my early 8 months of my coaching career was just that. Like, I was posting on social media every single day. I was doing the things, like, listening to personal development, but not actively using it. I was doing nothing that was actually serving me and just doing the busy work. And I know that a lot of times we get so caught up in the fact, like, but I've sent 10 invites out. Jamie, I don't know what's going on. Like, I post every single day. I do my workouts. I've lost 10 pounds. I drink the shakes. I send invites out and nobody wants to sign up with me, and I've been there. Oh my goodness, I've been there. And the one time that my life was transformed, and I was so happy to see that you guys have a retreat coming your way, but my life was transformed the day that I was at the retreat. Because, like, especially as females, we get so caught up in the comparison game. We get so caught up in like Jamie is a cycle instructor, so she's just going to be successful. Mandie is good at social media, so of course she's going to be successful. Mandie has a girlfriend that works the business with her, so of course they're going to be successful. Like, we have all of these things that make other people successful and us not as successful, right? And so that was my way of thinking about the business when I first got into it. And I didn't really try too hard to push myself outside of like the limitations that were going to make me very uncomfortable. Even though I was telling myself like, I posted on social media about my story, like that was so hard, really, come on. Like, how hard was that, Mandie? How hard was that? It wasn't. I posted on social media. I literally could throw my phone across the room and not look at it. Like, it's not that hard, And even though it felt hard in the time, I had to recognize the fact that I had to actually start doing the hard things. I had to start believing that I could do the hard things. And when I got to my diamond retreat, which is really crazy because Angie and Andre Belmar is Angie's husband. They invited me, and I was like, I'm not qualified for it. I actually told them no. I was like, I'm not going to go to that because I didn't feel like I was adequate enough, to go to a retreat where people were there hustling, and I continued to compare myself and I continued to say, I'm not worthy of, and you guys are looking at me now, a 15-star diamond coach, 8 in the network with an amazing team underneath me. But this was me for the first year of this business. And when I continue to tell myself that, every single thing that I kept telling myself was showing straight on my social media. Every single piece of what I believed in behind the scenes was a clear depiction on social media, and everyone could read right through all of the BS that I was laying down, and I hate that I was that version of me, and I hated that I had to experience that, but I also love that I get to experience that because I get to tell you guys about it, because I get to mentor other women and men in this business to show them that even though you're doing the things, you're not doing the things the right way yet. And that's okay. It's a part of the learning process. It's a part of every single thing that will come in this business. But most of all, the moment that you realize, like the moment that I walked into that retreat, where these girls that I kept comparing myself to and with, they literally with open arms were like, Mandie, we're so happy that you're here. We have been waiting to meet you. We love your Instagram. We love this about you. We love that about you. And instantly they all disappeared because all of the lies that I kept feeding myself were just, self-limiting beliefs continuously. And I was able to sit in my office, in my house, let's be honest. It was like one desk in my bedroom, my office. So I was able to sit in my little desk area, usually in the dark because I worked so much. And I was able to tell myself that I wasn't this, I wasn't that, I wasn't this, when all of these women on this team were saying, well, Mandie is actually very good at this, very good at that, very good at that. And so it's crazy what we do to ourselves and what stories we tell ourselves as other people on the outside are like, we see your courage, And so what's crazy enough is that like, even in those conversations that I had at the retreat with all of these other girls, they were saying like, Mandie, like, why don't you do more? Like they kept saying that to me. And I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, you have so much in you. Meeting you in person, there's so much more to give that you're not giving, and we can tell. And even though I wanted to be like, you guys are assholes, but I was like, okay, you're right. There's so much more inside of me that I could give. And so what I want to tell you guys is that like this game that we play of coaching is a game of failures. And I want you guys to write that down. It's a game of failures. It's a game of failures because you guys will fail 100 times more than you will succeed in this. And that is a part of the process. It's a part of the learning curves. It's a part of you becoming the best version of yourself, just like you guys, when you learn how to walk, when you learn how to read. You guys, it's crazy when we're adults, we think that we're done learning. We think that we're done. It's like, oh, I'm 21 now. I ain't got no more learning to do. You know, it's crazy how we think. And it's crazy to think that, like, even, okay, think about when you're a kid and you are learning the alphabet or learning how to read. You were so in tune with the fact that you were going to try every single day until you could start walking, until you can start reading, until you can figure out how to get on those damn monkey bars, until you can do it. And you will fail so many times until you succeed. But when you're older, your ego is your biggest freaking enemy. And the more that you sit with that ego, and the more that you guys allow the ego to sit next to you in your business, and while you're posting on social media and while you're having conversations, the worse that you're going to be at this business. And so you guys recognize the fact that this is a game of failures, which is amazing, because guess what? Once you recognize the fact that this is a game of failures, every single no is like yep, there's another one. Let's go after the next, you know? And the mentality changes. And now you start being grateful for those no's, because then you turn those no's into learning lessons. And if you guys can turn all of the different ebbs and flows into this business as learning lessons and fill it with gratitude, you guys, this business is so much more fun. It is so much more fun. Every time you have a conversation and somebody thinks you're crazy, you know what? Oh, the best part about when I have a conversation and somebody's like, oh, I'm not doing that, it's not for me. I'm like, you'll be back. You know, like, you'll be back, you know? And if you can have that mentality and that like rapport of your business, that's when not only your conversations start to shift, but people see it. People can feel your energy. And that's what happened to me. That's literally what happened to me, is like, I recognized the fact that I wasn't being good enough for not only myself, but for the outside world that I was trying to get on board with. And so once I realized that 80% of psychology that I needed to tune into, because it wasn't necessarily about all of the actions, because I was doing the actions, I just didn't have a great backing on them. I didn't have enough belief. I didn't have a good psychology. I wasn't mastering how I thought about it first. And so then it shifted. And a little background about like my kind of story is that it was like May, June of 2018 when I went to the Diamond Retreat. July, I went Diamond. So June, I hit Success Club 0 after the Diamond Retreat. I was like, Mandie, what the hell? And then I was finally like, okay, let's turn it on. July, I went Diamond, hit Success Club 32. Then following month, I went 1-star. The following month, I went 2-star, end of the year premiere. And then by literally a year later, we were a 9-star Diamond team. And so when you think about the difference in what your psychology does, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you guys, what's the craziest part is the first person on my team was recruited in June of 2018. June 2018. What year are we in? No, 2017. Sorry. 2017. I was like, what? I think it's 2020 sometimes. I don't know. I'm on drugs. I'm sorry. No, I'm not on drugs. You guys, I know this is probably recorded, but I'm not on drugs. Okay, so we're like 2 years old. 2 years old, 15-star Diamond team. We're the youngest team to go 15-star, which is unreal. But most of all, it was because I started tapping into the belief that I could do it. Not the belief that Jamie Glassman can do it. Not the belief that Daniel Natoni, Ashley Molstad, Emily Favre, all these names you see that are like, honestly, like unicorns to us at first. And you're just like, what do they have? What do they have? And you're like, what kind of drugs are they taking? What kind of energizes that really? You know, and you think like, what is actually going on? And I can tell you guys this from so much experience in meeting these people in person, working with them through groups and stuff, is that it's the 80% mastering your psychology. And so with all of those things, you guys, my story, it's crazy because I don't feel like the successful coach that has all those accolades. I just feel like I'm empowered by the version of Mandie that I've created. And that's the best place to be. And that's where I want every single one of you guys to be as well. And so kind of going like, and I was going to create a bunch of slides, but the truth is you mastering your social media, you being really freaking like a rock star where people are like, holy shit, what is she smoking? And I want some of it. What is she doing? Where you get those messages where they're like, what are you doing? You are so happy now. You know, where you get, and You guys, I know that some of you guys have already gotten them and they're the best messages ever. And you're like, yeah, damn right, I'm happy now, you know? But those are the messages that are generated from the energy that you're giving back to your audience, to the universe, to the people that are following you for the reason that you are that positive light in their life. You guys, there's so much negativity in the world. Think about that. There's so much negativity in the world. And it's our job as coaches to be the light, the inspiration, and the courage to dream a little damn bigger. That's our job. That is our job. And so you're thinking about social media. You're like, well, Mandie, how did you grow your social media? I know that's a question I get all the time. How did you grow it? You guys, the truth is, I was consistent AF, and I do the things that brand new coaches still do. Like, I still do the things. I'm never going to be in a place in my business where I don't send out invites, where I don't, warm up my market, where I don't post every single day, where I don't share my stories, where I don't look at Instagram and learn about the actual algorithms and everything in between there. I am literally like a sponge to new coaches. I'm like, well, what did you do? Because I'm never going to be too good to grow. And I think that we get caught up in the fact that, sometimes like, oh, well, I've been doing this for like 8 months, so I should have more followers, and you have this negative kind of mindset about the fact that you've been doing this for a certain amount of time, but how much of that time has been absolute, consistent, quality effort? You have to ask yourself that. How much of that time has been absolute, consistent, quality effort? Every single day. And what's cool about this entire business is that it's so damn simple. And I know you guys have overcomplicated it. I know that you think that volume literally is the craziest freaking thing, because I did too. I know that you think Success Club literally is the bane of your freaking existence sometimes. I know all of these things because I've been there, and sometimes I still am. Sometimes I look at Success Club leaderboards and I'm like, I want to give it to the middle finger, to be honest. Because sometimes and always you will continue to struggle through this business, but it's just how you deal with that struggle. A lot of people think that like when you become a top coach or when you become super successful in this business that you're just not going to struggle. You're just not going to get no's anymore. When that is a bold-faced lie, you will struggle more, but you'll be so much better at handling all of those things. So let's talk about your guys' social media for a second. Let's talk about what you're actually doing. So if you guys can look at your social media, I'm not saying look at it right now, but if you can look at your social media and you're saying, Jamie, I want to be a diamond coach. Look at your social media honestly and say, do you look like a diamond coach? Do you look like a 1-star coach? Do you look like an elite coach? Because if you don't look like it, how are you going to recruit it? How are you going to attract the team that you want to have if you don't already look the part? There's so many people out there that said, Mandie, when I signed up with you, I had no idea that you were brand new. And that's how it should be. I bet you guys, 90% of the people on Jamie's team that signed up early with her had no idea that she was so new, And the craziest part about that is that you guys have the ability to do that exact same thing. And it's almost our job to show people how courageous we can be. And so on social media, if you guys are trying to be a diamond team or trying to be a star diamond team or a premier elite, whatever your goal is to grow your team specifically, we're just going to talk about team growth and recruiting. What does your social media look like? Have you told the story from when you started to where you are now and to where you're going? Have you tapped into the potential of this business? Have you kept telling people how grateful you are for this opportunity? That's one thing that a lot of people forget about. Is that this is a gift. Like, it is a freaking gift that, like, honestly, I think God came down back to the earth and created. I feel so incredibly just grateful that this is an opportunity that we get to show, not only have for ourselves, but to show others. And so if you guys can fill every single day with gratitude in some sense, people are not going to get annoyed at that. They're going to be like, wow, she really loves what she does. He really loves what he does, People are going to be empowered by the fact that they want to love what they do just as much as you, And so even with calls like this, hey, we got to hop on a call. It's a perfect example. We got to hop on a call with a top coach tonight because our team together, the community has created such an incredible community that we now have opportunities that is not going to only help me and the team that we already have, but also you when you get signed up. Like, gratitude. Allow them to know that you guys are on a freaking rock star team. You're not by yourself in this. And so showing people the opportunities that you guys keep rocking it, like, that's a perfect way to show people what you guys are about, you know? I know a lot of people say, well, Mandie, how do I recruit rock stars if I don't have anybody on my team but my mom? You know, so did I. Actually, she quit, you know, but you know, there's this idea that we just poof, like have a magical team out of nowhere. We had to start with one coach at a time. We had to start with the no's, the cancellations. I've had to start with diamond coaches quitting and doing weird crap, you know. But most of all is that you just have to start acting the part. And I don't even mean acting the part, but I mean like thinking that you are the part. And so you're going to visualize what it looks like to be diamond coach. You're going to talk like your shit doesn't stink, you know. And the reason being is because you think that Bill Gates or Steve Jobs went into some of his first interviews and was like, well, I'm a new person in technology and well, I think I would want to get into this. No. He acted like his product was the best damn thing on the market and they're missing out if they don't have it. So that's the mentality to run a business, you guys. And I want to be very clear about this. I love this community. It's the best thing about my life, to be honest. But most of all, this is business. So if you are backing down and running your business with your emotions, it's no longer a business. It's a hobby. If you're running your business with emotions, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. I know that one hurts a little bit. That one stings a little bit and you're like, damn it, Mandie. Who got this girl on this call? You know? And it sucks. It sucks to recognize the fact that like, oh, I'm totally running this business with emotions. I'm totally allowing my ego and like my feelings and my vulnerability and my courage to be so diluted because I just don't feel like it sometimes, or something attacks my, you know, my vulnerability post and something makes me feel weird. But one thing that I've learned through this business is that the people that say the bad things or say no or that are judgmental, what usually are those people? One, they're usually people that are not living a life that you want to live. Two, they're people that usually aren't the happiest version of themselves. And three, those are the people that are going to watch you and be envious as hell. Exactly, Danielle. They're going to be envious. And so the people that you are allowing yourself to be robbed of all of your joy and all of the just, you know, the growth in your business are the same people that are in that spot that you never want to be. And so you guys have to think about this. When you're posting on social media, when you're having a conversation, when you are thinking about something that you want to do, who is the mentor? You have to think about who is the one person, the mentor, maybe a personal development guy or something. Mine is Tony Robbins. Like if Tony Robbins says I should, then I'm going to. Like that's my mentality. And so if you have somebody in your life that literally you look up to so much because they're living a great freaking life and a standard of living that you literally are like, damn, then instead of allowing people that are outside of that bubble to dictate how you feel about your business, just look to those mentors. Just look like upward. Stop looking at the people and like the little freaking ants around you that are doing nothing. And I'm sorry, but the mediocrity of everybody just doing things that society tells us to do is not how I want to live my life. So why am I going to go look at the freaking ants and say, hey, what do you think I should do today? Hey, did you like that post? You know, like that's wild that we do that. And you guys, the reason I could talk about this so like with so much conviction now is because I was that girl. I was like, where are the ants at? Who's judging me? Let's have a conversation, you know? And I was the person that kept allowing that to happen. And so when you think about what you should be doing, you think about, well, Mandie, that's great. I feel better now, but what do I do? You guys, this business is simple. You just start doing the things that you already know that you should be doing, but now you're going to do them with conviction. You should be posting every single day on social media with sharing the gratitude about the business, with sharing your vision about what you want to achieve, with sharing literally what this has already done for you and every single thing in between. And most of all, you're taking every single person in your audience through this journey of your life. Not just the fitness aspect, but if you want to recruit people and if you want people to understand that you have an opportunity to help them through the coaching experience specifically, you're going to tell them, hey, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but this mission, this vision, and this opportunity is damn well going to get me there. And I've seen it before, and I'm going to show you guys too. Like, if you guys can have that much conviction, I would believe you. If I scrolled and I found your feed, I should be able to say, yeah, she's got it. You know, Jamie should be like, oh, she definitely believes in it. He believes in it. I don't know if there's any dudes on this team. Always got to throw it out there. You know, like I just truly believe that once you get the psychology down, everything else seems so much easier. You guys, I do want to answer specific questions. And so if you have any questions for me specifically, like put them down in the chat. I'm just going to talk about one more thing and then I'll answer them. But a lot of things that we see in this business, like I could talk to you guys about social media until I'm literally blue in the face. And I could tell you, well, you should do this and you should do that. But most of all, you should be the truest version of you and run with it. Run with your vision, run with your fitness journey, run with the fact that you are so freaking adamant to help every single soul out there. Run with conviction, run with belief, and most of all, stop damn comparing yourself to anybody in this business. Because guess what? You guys, guess what? Before Mandie Kaii, there wasn't a Mandie Kaii. You know, isn't that crazy? Before this team that you guys are on, there wasn't a team like this. You know, isn't that wild to think? And we get so caught up in the fact that, oh, I want to be like Lindsay Matway's team, or I want to be like Bonnie Engel's team, or I want to do all these things that are already there. But guess what? You have the creative ability to literally make something of your own. And that is the gift in this business. And with all of those things, and I know you guys are going to probably ask me questions like, well, how do you get people to run as fast as you? You know, how do you run a team as successful as you've done? How do you really get people to get on board with your ideas? Hey, guess what? It's really simple. You keep running until people catch up. Period. You run so damn fast where people literally can't even see you. And all of a sudden you got little girls running beside you and you're like, damn, that's right, honey, welcome to the show. You know, you get so convicted about how fast you're going to run and you let people catch up to that, because those are the people that you want. You know, you want the people that are going to run at your pace. You guys, what's I've always talked to my team about is your glass ceiling. Your glass ceiling, that you create a glass ceiling in your life, in your business specifically. Let's talk just business. So you create a glass ceiling in your business. You put that ceiling up. You can see above it, so you can always move it up, but you damn well never move that motherfucker. If you move it, that means the standard of your business is absolutely shattered. If you take the thing down, it's going to shatter. And so thinking about your activities every single day, when you have a conversation with a client or have a conversation with a new coach or a conversation with anybody, and you have to lower that standard, you're breaking the integrity of your business. Isn't that crazy to think? So when you think about your business, you literally, all you have to do is keep a standard really high and every single day meet that. Every single day meet that and start encouraging other people to meet that same standard. And that's how you start creating rock stars. That's how you start recruiting really awesome people. And most of all, that's how you feel like a damn rock star every single day. Because it's not just one decision where you're just going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm confident in myself. You know, you have to have progress. You have to have just a sense of purpose, but you also have to have proof that your standards should be that high. But you have to create that with a lot of freaking action every single day. Okay, I'm going to answer these questions because, like, I've been talking for a long time. Ellie says, I do avoid talking at people rather than talking to people on social media. What is your best tip for this? I avoid talking. I do. What does that mean? Oh, how do I? I don't really get the question.
How do you talk to people rather than talking at them, I think, Allie? I don't
I think sometimes when I read other people's posts, like especially in like the health sector, like they were talking at people, like you need to do this, but I was just looking at your page, and it's like you're more talking like with people. So do you usually phrase things, or how did you become better at like making people feel like you're their friend rather than you're like telling them exactly what to do? Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. And that is 150% intentional. Like, I'm very, very intentional in the fact that people don't want to go on social media and just be told what to do all the time. You know, everyone has an ego. And if they consistently and just continually see a page where it's just like, she's telling me what to do, she's telling me what to do, she's telling me what to do, instead of like being inspired by action that you're doing with them, there's a huge difference in like community and just like having a relationship with your audience. And so some tips that I use when I'm creating that kind of space of community on my page specifically is that I always act like I'm talking to just a small group of my best friends. And so if I'm just going to talk to a small group of my best friends about, like the post I did today about like owning you instead of comparing yourself, I'm just going to say, hey girlfriend, like you rock, you're awesome, I already love you, I don't even know your name, but I love you, you know, like, and you just talk in that sense. And most of all, with every single post that I do, I always relate it to myself and my story, because often you can do this thing where you like want to add value, but you just give them things that you like think are valuable instead of like relating it back to like why it's valuable to you specifically at first, you know what I mean? And so just correlating the two is really helpful. And you guys, one of the biggest things that I've kind of realized that like with social media specifically is that the more that you create the community on your Instagram page, the better that those people that get into your information sessions and want to join the coaching side of things already are part of the community that you have publicly, and they could see that. And so they want to be even more inclusive to the private community that you have as a team. Does that make sense? Sweet. How did you work on perfecting your storytelling abilities? Oh goodness. I practiced. So I guess I should have told you guys, I used to be terrified of public speaking, like throw up in a bucket before I would ever do anything, like that scared. I even took public speaking classes, and it was one of those things where like I would get cold sweats and people would make fun of me because I would like have teary eyes. Embarrassing. Even I wouldn't FaceTime my girlfriend because I was that scared of cameras. Really bad. So one thing that I had to do is tell my story out loud first, and then I would videotape it. Another thing is that I had to recognize, I really had to be in tune with my story and recognize any time in my specific story that I felt that somebody else must be going through. So for instance, like with my story about the corporate world, like so many people, once I started telling that story, they related to aspects of it. And so as I go on throughout my life in my journey as a coach, I start recognizing little things that I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure other people will have to deal with this. And so that becomes a piece of my story, you know, and certain things that like I never would have thought people related to, like even parts of like creative freedom. Like I thought I was just a weirdo and I wanted creative freedom to create visuals for my team. Like, that sounds weird. But there's a lot of people on my team that have that, you know, like they're like digital design artists and stuff like that like wanted that freedom. And so I don't really think a story is ever perfect because it's ever changing and ever evolving, especially with what we value. And so to really tap into kind of having a story is just being honest, to be honest, like just really being vulnerable and honest is the best way I can capture how to perfect that, I guess. I don't know. So we should be believing and being the part of coach we want to be, but how do you balance that with sharing the lows? Oh, okay. I love this question. Oh, thank you so much for asking this. Okay. So Teva, is that how you say that? Perfect. So Teva said, that like, how do you talk about belief, but also going through the ringer at the same time? Pretty much. And I love this question because if you guys know any part of my story, I was going through the ringer for about a year of my business. And it was one of the hardest times in my life, one of the hardest times in my relationship as well. And there was a lot of outside factors. And one of the hardest things was to be able to talk about the hurt and the pain and all of the things that was going on publicly. You know, I still had to run my business. I couldn't just like stop because there was stuff going on. I feel like I should just tell you what I'm talking about because that would make it easier. So pretty much I'm in a relationship with a girl and we were living in Alabama, and in Alabama in the community that we were involved in, people pretty much sent us Pray the Gay Way seminars and all of the shit. Like literally the worst thing possible. People said that we have diseases. People said we're like alcoholics. People said that we should pretty much go die and like Jesus hates us. And so we were going through this for an entire year together. And it was hard. I mean, I was running a business where I was supposed to go on social media and talk to people about positivity when literally the world hated me. And every single time I would walk into a store, I had people grab me because I looked different than the community. I had people like come up to me and be like, you need to get out of here. You look like you're from California, like really weird shit. And that was just last year. And what's crazy is that like, you would never know that I was going through that because on social media, I wasn't in a place where I could talk about that yet because I didn't have a solution for him. And so the biggest thing that I kind of tell my team is that like I don't think that it's necessarily the best idea to tell people, oh, I had a shitty day, maybe tomorrow would be better, you know, like that's not going to serve anybody. And so what I always think is like I'm going to tell people how I got through something once I'm out of it. Once I'm out of the weeds, I'll allow that part of me to be pretty open and allow the kind of like trials to be exposed so I can actually help people and serve people through the experiences. And so it was hard. It was hard for me to go through all that, you know, sit on the floor crying most of the days and literally calling my mom and be like, Mom, like what is life right now? You know, and it was hard to go on social media and have to be motivating, you know, and sometimes even today, like not today, but like during this time of my life, I have days where I don't want to get out of bed. Like yesterday, for instance, I didn't even get out of bed because I had such bad stomach pains, and I'm not going to get on social media and be like, oh my God, my life sucks. You know, that's not going to serve anybody. But what I'm going to do is be able to turn it in a different way of like, oh, I have the freedom to, you know, stay at home, you know, like I'm going to be able to add some value in some sort of way with the things that I'm going through. And again, my biggest kind of piece of advice, if you guys are ever going through anything, have a solution first before you start telling about it. You know, like how awful would it be to see somebody's Instagram post and it's being like, oh, well, today I just got in a car accident. Okay. Like, are you okay? Like, you know, like, and it's just like, that doesn't feel good for anybody. And that doesn't serve the world with good, positive energy, you know? And so, yeah, exactly. Just flip it into something that you can serve others with and add value to. I hope that makes sense. Oh, there was also a question of, is it dangerous to show why you aren't feeling the most confident, or is it okay to be honest? I do think that there's certain aspects of yourself, obviously, that you're not as confident in. And I talk about this all the time on my social media, is that like when I was younger, I used to be called Manly Mandie because I had bicep muscles, and I hate it still to this day. It bugs me. Like it bugs me because I was literally called Manly Mandie. I'm like, who does that as a kid? But still to this day, I get kind of timid, or like I'm not as confident as my arms because of those experiences. And I talk about it, but then I also flex up at the same time and smile, you know, like, so like those are some things that I could kind of turn those things into. I'm trying though, like I'm trying to be confident in this, and here's my attempt. And here's also my piece of advice that like, if you ever felt unconfident in something, like flex up, like you guys are good, you know, and just like to love yourself most of all. I feel like that was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry. Any other questions? Yeah, of course. Jamie.
What's your top, what, I guess, you know, during your mindset switch, what's like your favorite personal development book, or what you have your coaches reading to kind of the ones that are feeling up here in their head?
Absolutely. So I actually have a video. I'm going to find it for you guys. I actually have a video, and if you guys can ever go, I don't know if you guys are Tony Robbins fans, this girl is, but if you guys can ever go to UPW or Date with Destiny or something, Tony Robbins, I would definitely do it. It transformed my entire life, my relationship, and we're literally where we are in our life because of it. But one of the biggest, where is it? I'm going to find the video.
I spent like 2 months of my salary on that ticket, and it was the best decision I've ever.
Oh yeah. Like literally you guys, and what's crazy is like, this is how good it is. Like the book's always next to me and I always go back to it. And I'm actually doing a entire training, like 7-day 7-week training with my team just on that book specifically. Anyways, so one thing that I always listen to, it's one of videos, I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you, Jamie, so you can send it to your team. But it's a video with Tony Robbins, and it's about priming, and it's about getting into a state. It's about getting into a positive mindset and priming yourself to be the best version of you before you even go into the activity of what needs to get done for the day, and how to set yourself up for success. And so to this day, I listen to it almost every day. And it's like one of the first things I put on, because even to this day, I still have to practice that leadership muscle. I still have to practice feeling like the best version of me. And so I had to really kind of assess the fact that like being courageous, being a leader, being successful, being just this version of me that I'm going to be, I had to work it, like I had to work that muscle every single day. And I hated. I wish I was like that person that just could wake up and like feel better. But I truly felt like I had to set myself up for success every day. And it was with that video. Other good personal developments. I am not a fan. And I will be the first one to say I hate this shit. I hate the like hoopla gura, like let's all think positive, like that doesn't really serve anybody. Maybe it serves you, sorry, don't mean to offend. But most of all, like I want like tactical things that I could do to change my way of living. Like I want actual things. I don't want somebody to just say, oh, well, think positive. I'm like, thank you. So that's kind of my mentality on personal development. I think everybody kind of touches with something different, but me, Tony Robbins and priming is like the key to the kingdom.
Okay. Do you guys have any more questions before we let her run off? Anyone?
I'm an open book.
I gotta say, this was probably the best call we've had, and we've had literally every single top coach on our call.
Oh,
and I love what you said. I've heard this on a couple other team calls that you spoke on, but the whole like emotion of running your business, and if you are running it emotional, and it's so like once I heard you say that the first time, I was like, it's so true. Like, all these guys who run these crazy empires and businesses, they're not crying when people turn them down, and they're not getting upset when someone says no, or when they have 1 million investors that bail or whatever it is. Like, it's so true. And just because we are, females, and we tend to be a little bit more emotional and wear our hearts on our sleeve and all that. Like, I think once I heard you say that, I was like, you're so right. Like, this is a business. And if you're going to run a business and be a CEO and run an organization and an empire that just grows beyond your wildest dreams, like, you got to have that mindset. And I think for me, it was like, I had to step out of like feeling sorry for everyone and trying to like hold everyone's hand and be like, oh my God, like, no, you got to run your business, and hopefully you have people along the way that are going to do it with you and be right there next to you. But I think that whole emotion and business thing is so key. And I think it's all for all of us to like really kind of think about, like, are you running this on emotion?
Totally. And one of my favorite calls I actually just listened to, it's a podcast with Ed Milet. It's Ed Milet Show. And it's a podcast, and he's interviewing Jenna Kutcher, the Gold Digger podcast.
Going to see her in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Wait, do you want to come with me? Pay to Brave. It's in San Diego.
When?
I'll message you.
Okay. I'm like, when? But yeah, it's one of my favorite things. And she talks about how she's a dude in business. And I love it, because I'm like, the moment that you become, and I don't mean to be sexist, but the moment that you become an emotional female mess in business, your business is wrecked forever. And I hate it. I hated the fact that I was that girl for a long time. And I truly think that, like, if you can find it in you to literally disassociate your feelings with the success of your business, you're just setting yourself up for success for sure.
100%. I love that. And there was something else you said that I love. I mean, I love everything you said was just unbelievable. And you guys, I want you to just get obviously all the inspiration from her, but I do know what it is like to look at this coach with all these accolades and just feel so far from it. And so I can't do that, but I hope you take from this call the fact that she was there. She had all those limiting beliefs as well. And you are only as successful as you allow yourself to be. And I think that that's just what I took from this whole thing is you have set your standard, and it's up to you if you're going to raise your standards a little bit higher for yourself and for your business and for what you want out of your life. The aunt situation is like unbelievable because it's so true. It's like we really worry about so many people that are doing less than us, but like the people that are doing more, who are living their wildest dreams, like guaranteed they're not saying shit to you because they don't care. They do not care. They're not thinking about you because they're living their best life. And it's like, for some reason, we just get so worried about like, what's this person thinking? Can I post that? I'm scared because, and at the end of the day, it's just, we got to get out of that mentality because you'll never be successful if your mindset is there.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Well, I love you so much. You're the best. And I'm going to text you in a little bit.
Love you.
I love you.
Thank
Thank
you
so much. Best call. You guys, will you stay on for like 2 minutes and then I'll let Mandie hop up. I love you so much.
Of course. Bye.
Bye. I mean,